Hello and welcome to Tech with Heart. I am your host, Michelle Calloway. Tech with Heart is all about empowering entrepreneurs to embrace technologies and systems and strategies that will help them stay competitive and relevant in a rapidly changing online digital environment. Today's topic is ADA accessibility. And yes, that applies to all online businesses just as much as brick and mortar businesses. And we're going to talk about that with our very special guest. His name is Tim Burkart. He is a 20-year veteran of web development, and he is now a WordPress specialist coming to talk to you, the small business owner, about how you can make sure that your business is open for all people with all types of different disabilities, etc., making it accessible and easy for them to do business with you. And also, we're going to learn a little bit about what happens if you don't make it accessible. All right, so with that, I want to just welcome to the Tech with Heart stage, Tim Burkart.
Hey, Michelle, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
We are very happy that you decided to take us up on this opportunity to come and talk about such an incredibly important topic. Most small business owners don't even think this applies to them. So Tim, what is it that you can tell us about? What are the benefits of having an ADA compliant website?
Having an ADA compliant website is important for everyone. It broadens your audience. It makes the audience feel, if you create an inclusive environment or an inclusive website, then you can do business with the entire population, not just those who have perfect vision and don't have any kind of impairments. It impacts the ability of many people to navigate a website successfully if a site is not ADA compliant.
Can we talk a little bit about, first of all, what is ADA? What does compliance look like? Can you just kind of like do a brief overview so that a small business owner who's hearing about this for the first time kind of understands what that means for something such as a website?
Sure. Well, the Americans with Disability Act was passed 10 or so years ago, and it includes the digital world. So businesses and organizations with websites need to adhere to the law and provide accessible websites. So an example would be if somebody is using a screen reader, so they're not actually looking at the site as you or I might be, they're using a screen reader to parse the text or the content on the page, they will miss images unless the images are tagged with descriptive phrases. If you're showing a product design, for example, without the tagging or the descriptive phrase, they're not going to know what's there. It's just a picture, and they're going to have a big question mark in their mind. The same is with labeling sections of a page. Some people just want to see the important points. So the headlines on a page, the key phrases, the single points, not necessarily bullet points, but every web page usually has sections with topical headings. So they need to be labeled properly so the user knows where those points are.
So that even goes down to the point of blogs, right? So like, let's just say a small business owner had their website professionally designed, and the web developer took into account and made sure that all of those headlines and subheadlines are tagged properly. Now the business owner continues to just provide blogs on a regular, on their own. They do it. They create the content. They put it on their website. It's super important for them to understand these exact same principles, correct?
Yes, it is. Because otherwise, what's been done in the past, you will lose your audience if you do not continue following accessible guidelines.
And it's really not rocket science. So for the small business owners who are tuning in right now, the things that they can do to make their website more accessible are things that they can do themselves. Would you agree?
That's correct. Everyone can do this. It's just using the tools on a website that are available to you.
One thing too, I've noticed, Tim, I'm just going to interject here, is that it's gone beyond just websites. So like if you're going to post an article or host an event or post an event on a platform like LinkedIn, they are now offering the ability to add alt text to images that you upload for that particular event or that post. So therefore, they are working on their ADA compliance on their platform as well. But it's still up to you when you're creating that event or that post to make sure that you go through the effort of clicking on that image, and then you go into a separate window and you have to add a descriptive alt text for that image that will help a visually impaired person identify what's being shown in that image, rather than just using the title of event headline.jpg. Yeah, you want to turn that.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there any other things that you've seen as far as like improving ADA accessibility across the board on different online platforms like that?
Well, the other things you need to keep in mind is it's not just the visual. It's it's visual, but people who may suffer from motion impairments. So you don't want to cause a seizure by having a lot of motion on your website. Graphics with, motion-filled graphics can be problematic.
Anything flashing like in the old
flashing, you never know what can trigger an episode for someone. You just have to keep that in mind when you or your developer are designing your website.
And to take it to another level further, beyond what people see when they're perusing your website and they use these special softwares for the visually impaired or for the deaf, right? So there are tools out there that help them get themselves around on the internet. I mean, they have needs too. So that's why it's so important as a business owner that you take this seriously, because if you don't, and we'll talk about that in a minute, if you don't comply, then there's some serious repercussions. But what you're also doing is showing yourself that you're aware and you're taking these things into consideration. If you offer downloads off of your website, those downloaded elements, it could be a video, it could be a PDF, an ebook or whatnot, those also need to be formatted so that somebody who's visually impaired can use the reader to read those things as well. So it's not just only on your website, it's elements that can be downloaded from your website that also are all part of this compliance. But Tim, let's move this discussion.
Well, I've got one more point I want to add, that being ADA compliant is not just accommodating those who have impairment, who are impaired in some way. It actually benefits the SEO capabilities of your website. Google, to highlight the major search engine, loves accessible websites because they have all the labeling and the tagging that are integral to search engine optimization. So everyone, so that means your website is more findable. It will be searched and ranked higher. It's
Good
beneficial.
point.
it's
Super.
beneficial for everyone.
Being able to do business online is crucial for survival, especially during times of social distancing. So how do you survive and thrive in the sea of digital noise? It's a lot like fishing. You need to know who your perfect customer is so that you could use the right kind of lure to attract them. We help you catch your perfect customer and retain them for future sales through highly converting websites, influencer mobile apps, getting you featured in the news and on TV. Hi, my name is Jerry Bowden, U.S. Army veteran and president of Revelio Software Solutions. Our goal is to help you rise above the competition, be seen as an expert authority in your industry, and embrace technology to stay competitive for long-term success. It's more affordable than you may think. So reach out to us at revelio.com, and together we will make your business come alive.
Super good point. It is beneficial for everyone. Major organic marketing tool right there, SEO. Thanks for that, Tim. Let's talk about a little bit now what it looks like for what are the risks for being outside of compliance in this ADA realm for especially American businesses.
Well, the risks are several. I mean, you can look at it for having frustrated website visitors because some portion of the population cannot navigate your site. They're just going to give up and move on. So there is an opportunity cost of lost customers. There is also the legal side of this. You can be sued, and businesses and organizations have been sued for being non-compliant. Can be a costly endeavor to face a federal lawsuit. This is a federal matter. So do you want to go to court and defend not having an accessible website? The number of lawsuits do increase every year.
The other thing too that I've been hearing is that when you do try to go to court and defend your business, because your online business is still your business, it's the same as if it's a brick and mortar. It's a legal entity doing business. You're taking other people's money for a service or a product, so you're in business, and so you can't claim that you didn't know because ADA is not new. It's a brand. It's a concept for some reason people don't necessarily think about when it comes to their online business. But when you go to court and you try and say, "Oh, I didn't know," from what I'm hearing, the judges are saying it doesn't matter.
No, the digital world is just like the brick and mortar world, and compliance on one side applies to both sides of the equation.
I've heard also some business owners thinking that it's their web developers' problem to take care of this, or it's their marketing department's problem to figure out how to make things more accessible. And it's not necessarily the case. If you're the business owner, it's your problem. You need
because you own the website.
You own the business. So it's your responsibility to either make sure your web developer is doing their job right, or the marketing team is doing their job right, or the two are working together to make sure that you're being represented right and properly. So what are some other risks or costs, or then what are some benefits of doing it besides the SEO?
Well, the SEO, there are tax credits available, which is something that's money that you can put in your pocket. You can claim 50% of the cost of investing in ADA compliance for your website, up to $10,000. And
that's really good news. I had not heard that.
No, and that's really a plus. You can do this annually. So by not only if you do it once, if you maintain it, you can continue to claim half of the cost of doing that work, up to $10,000. So you can realize the $5,000 tax credit each year. And it's simply by completing one IRS form that gets attached to your tax return.
That's really thank you for sharing that valuable insight. So a lot of small business owners, the reason why they don't take their website to 100% compliance is that there's usually quite a bit of human effort involved, also in addition to the artificial intelligence that is able to address a lot of these issues. So it can be costly depending upon how large your website is and how many downloadable elements and et cetera, and how much content needs to be revamped, et cetera. So thank you for sharing that. That is a big win, because small business owners that are indeed providing quite a bit of profit, that tax write-off is a big win.
Yeah, and I don't think it's that much effort to make your website compliant. These are just good practices for a designer or a developer to incorporate into their work.
I know that my company, Revelia, we're a software company, and we offer a free widget. It's called ADAdefender.us, and it's a free widget you can put on your website that will allow those who have different disabilities or whatnot to be able to enlarge things or just have the contrast different. And so it's a widget that shows that you're at least attempting to be compliant. And there's a lot of tools out there like that. Tim, do you have any resources to share in this regard?
Well, there are several, and and it becomes controversial, so I want to avoid that. There are a number of the solutions that are described as overlay solutions, and they provide some coverage, but making a site compliant really requires some manual work on the developer's part. Some tools are better than others. They're more comprehensive. I actually partner with an Israeli firm and use their widget for websites that I build. I found them to be a great partner, which is how I chose them.
Well, that's okay. So it's fine if you don't want to state any names, but here's where I'm coming in at, is that artificial intelligence is here. And some of these widgets obviously incorporate AI to help identify solutions and automatically fix some of those solutions as long as you keep paying for a widget. So paid widgets are going to provide you with a higher level of compliance, but I know that none of these widgets are able to take your site to 100% compliance, because there is that need to have a human involved. And depending, like I said earlier, about how many pages your website is, how big and how much content as far as downloadables, et cetera, it all starts contributing. So the best thing to do, Tim, is I'm thinking is that if anybody has any concerns or thoughts, or just wants to kind of meet you and get some initial thoughts on their own website, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
The best way is through my website. I have a contact page. My phone number is there, email address, or you can schedule a meeting with me. I'm happy to offer a free consultation without obligation to anyone that is interested in learning more about this topic.
And how can they reach out to you? Can you give us your email address or a website, please?
My website is www.dot and then the numbers 832.com.
And that's the best way to get a hold of you? Is there a contact form there, or is there an email?
There is a contact form. Okay. My direct phone number is 832-872-5187. And that is also posted on my contact page. And I will take your call or your email.
Yes, Tim is absolutely an expert that you might want to just spend a few minutes getting to know. He is somebody I believe you can trust very easily. He's got tons of years of experience in the industry, and he has a heart to serve, especially serve small business owners and just help the common good. So this ADA topic is something that's not getting discussed enough in the world of web. So we are here with the Tech with Heart nonprofit organization focused on empowering all small business owners to be successful online as well as offline. But right now we're talking
Right.
about your online presence. So Tim, what is a thought or a phrase around this topic that you would like to leave impressed upon those that are tuning in right now?
I think the most important thing regarding ADA compliance is it's simply inclusivity for all. This impacts everyone. You know, you're being a good member of society. You're offering your business or your services for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in too. And if you are a small business owner who wants to learn how to start embracing more technologies, even like this ADA compliance, into your own business so that you can stay more relevant and also more competitive in your online business world, please come join our techwithheartnetwork.com. We are an online community that's all around nurturing, encouraging, and empowering small business owners to grow alongside one another by tuning in to experts like Tim and other topics. We talk about marketing, we talk about sales, we talk about systems. So if you would like to join our community, you can do it for free. If you would like to be elevated within our community as an expert or an influencer, and you would like to be interviewed on the Tech with Heart show or have your own television show, please join us at techwithheartnetwork.com. Reach out to us and let us know what you would like to discuss. We'd love to get to know you and see if you're a good fit. Techwithheartnetwork.com is where it's at. So here's to your success.
Your story needs to be seen and heard, and your brand needs to be revealed. Revealio elevates purpose-driven businesses into the spotlight through video storytelling, augmented reality video marketing, and professional website design. Get discovered online or in the news. Be featured in national magazines or host your own TV, podcast, or live radio show. Together, we make your brand come alive. All it takes is Revealio. Visit Revealio.com to get started today. Minority and service disabled veteran owned.